is around that 71 mark against the greenback. That is business. Back to you, Paul.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Corin. Tuesday morning breakfast. It's almost clicking over 8:12. What to do after school can be a decision that could affect the rest of your life. In many cases, it does. A daunting prospect for a 17-year-old. Career coach Heather McAllister has spent years helping young people work out what to do after high school and has just written this book, Who You Are Is What You Do. And she joins us now. Heather, good morning.
Good morning, Paul.
I'm not sure that I understand the title. Who You Are Is What You Do.
Well, what it all comes back to is who am I? So it's very important these days to know just who you are, what you want from life, what your values are, what your dreams and aspirations are, so that you can focus down, because there's so much choice these days and students become confused.
I'm 50 and
yes.
I don't know that I could answer that first bit. Who you are, I'm not sure I know who I am at 50. How many 17-year-olds really know who they are?
Well, I think you're right, and I think at different stages of our lives we reassess, don't we? But I think at 17 you've got to start somewhere, so you begin by looking at what your dreams are, what your aspirations are, what your strengths are, and also what your values are, and I think that's really what's important to you.
For many, they'll be doing this for the first time, because if you think about it, and I've got children who are all either just going through this or have just gone through this, and if you think about it, they have been in a very closely confined system where the expectations on them are obvious all their life to that point. And then all of a sudden, it's a piece of string, you can't see the end of it.
That's right, and that's why it's a process. And I think students, as I spoke to students, I would find that the bulk of them really, they have a little idea of what they want to be, but most of them don't really know. So there'll be about 10% with, you know, they've known from the beginning of their lives, I want to be a doctor or I want to be this or that, and 10% have no idea at all, but most of them are in that middle bracket where they're not sure.
Is it a big problem for those that have thought all their life, well, I'd love to be a nurse, I'd love to be a doctor, I'd love to be a teacher or something, then all of a sudden they're put in the position of, well, it's time to go for it, and they think, oh, do I really want to do that?
Well, they can keep their options open by doing a general qualification, maybe a degree, and then doing their teaching certificate on top of that. Well, to do teaching, that's what you'd have to do anyway, and nursing is the same, so things have changed a lot.
It is hard though, isn't it, because the options have never been as many and varied. The cost of taking those options has never been as high.
No, that's right, but better to sort of try out and work out what you want to do at this stage of your life rather than at the end think, well, I've done this and actually I haven't really enjoyed it.
How much of a crisis is it for some who all of a sudden say, well, look, you know, actually I've got nowhere to go today. I don't know where I'm going to go tomorrow.
Well, I think that in that case that you've really got to start somewhere. You've got to take the first little step. So it may be just going on the website, having a look and see what's there.
Or finding a job, or just going and
finding a job can be part of it. A lot of students take a gap year between school and
Is that a good idea?
On. Yes, it is actually. For most students, it works quite well. For bright students, it won't change too much what they do once they get to university or to Polytech or wherever they're going. For those who don't do so well at school, sometimes it can actually be an advantage. And I think part of it is motivation. They realise that to actually get anywhere and have a good income. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's interesting, isn't it? I mean, you have met so many children who are going through this dilemma of what we do. Do many of them say to you, you know, we feel that we're under pressure, either from their circumstances or their parents?
Yes, and I think this is something that parents need to know, you know, maybe not to put the pressure on so much, because at the end of that year 13 or year 12, when they leave, they don't have to know exactly what they're going to do, because it will change anyway. These days it's not a career, it's often several careers. And it's a lifelong learning now because of so many new technologies and so on, and so much, and knowledge changing so much. You know, they're going to have to be prepared to study, you know, off and on over the years for some time. And so this is just the beginning. It's not a case of getting it wrong. It's a case of this is the beginning, and I'm trying this out, and I'm going to do this. And maybe I'll do it for 2 or 3 or 4 years, but and then if it doesn't work out, maybe I'll try something else.
So if you're not sure, don't box yourself into something from which it might be hard to get out.
Exactly.
So for people that really don't know then, they're in that position where they don't know what they're going to do today or what they need to do.
Yes.
Is the message just do something, don't just sit around?
Well, it's a process, and I think there's a lot of things they can do. They can answer some of the kinds of questions that are in this book. So you learn a lot by asking questions and of yourself and answering them. So what are the things that really get you out of bed in the morning?